My name is Gayathiri Guliani. I'm the founder of a company called Cleo's Entertainment. I've been 26 years in media, in all the corporate leadership roles, starting from Sony, Viacom, Reliance, Lionsgate. I've been known as a trailblazer so far because I'm the first one to open 3 Idiots in China market. So similarly, my name is pretty synonymous in international distribution across the world. So basically, I've been able to take Bollywood films or Indian cinema to starting from when I used to do it, it used to be just about like 45 countries, and by the time I've done it close to about 120 countries. So it's in all languages and everything, breaking barriers, pushing boundaries. Right now, I am a producer, and I've done the first ever Taiwan-India co-production, which was accoladed in Cannes 2024 for its novelty, and it was accoladed by the Screen International as one of the topmost and the hottest projects. So that's just about me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Love to be here again. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much, MediaTek, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to present ourselves and say what we want to say in front of all of you. Thank you so much. So my name is Jividha Sharma. I have been in this media industry for almost 2 decades now. Started as an actor at very young age. One of my film was Tal, then Ye Dil Ashikana was my film. I transitioned into a business professional 8 years back. That was I thought about that and I did that. It was not an easy one for me because that's why I am here to represent as a rising innovator, because that transition has given me a lot of experiences. Plus, a lot of women are there whom I really want to just not only stick to one thing and just do it what they want to do. Right now, I'm working as a CEO of the company called SP Cinecorp. We are a production house, and one of our film is getting premiered here in IFI, called Hisab Barabar. That's with R. Madhavan. So that's one thing we are here for also with MediaTek and IFI. Thank you so much for having me here, and I hope you are a very wonderful, anyways, audiences, and we're going to speak much today because we are women. You know, women speak too much. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. My name is Akanksha Aurora. I am a Los Angeles-based screenwriter by profession. I have about 10 years of experience writing in the kids and family space for brands like Disney Channel and Moonbug Entertainment. And that's by profession, but by passion, I am also a personal storyteller with The Moth, which is National Public Radio across the United States. And I am also a stand-up comedian, and I work with young writers who struggle to find their voice, because my work overall has just been a live evolution of me finding my voice as we have gone over time. So very excited to be here in an esteemed company, and let's get started.
A big hand, everyone. And what's interesting in today's panel is, okay, you want to kind of like have your introduction. Of course, he gave your introduction, but you sat down, so absolutely would love to hear more about it.
Well, it's a pleasure and an honor being here with the entrepreneurs and the people who have made it in a profession which is so innovative and unheard of by people of my times and my generation. And I really marvel at the way you all have progressed and taken your strides and made a mark in this world. Well, I'm Meenacshi Martins. I'm a doctor. I'm a psychiatrist. I'm also an actor, and as someone said, you should do whatever you want to do. So, so I alternated between acting and medicine every alternate year, because medicine is 18-month a year course. So first MBBS I finished, and then I did theatre, won there, and then came back and did medicine. And then when I finished my medicine, I rolled up all my degrees and gave them back to my dad and said, well, I did medicine for you now, and now I'll go and live my life. So that's how I ended up acting. So that was about 40 years ago. So I've been around a while, and well, I've seen the various aspects of, I think, the media as it has changed from theatre to HD, Betacam, digital, high definition, 4Ks, and you have it. So really nice. I'm here to learn. I'm here to hear from all of you and gain knowledge and maybe share some perspectives from my side. And wonderful being here. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, sir.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's say once again for the dignitaries on stage and let the chat start.
Absolutely. So what's interesting today is we are representing various generations, but we're always young, as always. I would like to open this session with a very interesting quote that Michelle Obama had said, that there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. And today, this and all of us sitting over here actually have done that, and they are doing that each and every moment that we are living. I would love to start with you, Meenakshi, in terms of like you mentioned that you've been a part of obviously evolution, revolution in many aspects. You know, of media's, of course, like this one of the focus because it glares at us all the time. But what would be interesting to know from your perspective is what are the key changes, or what is it that has been your experience, as well as one is an internal and one is second is an external. So how has this been a changing phase, and what has been the evolution that you've seen, because you yourself has taken so many professions and so multi-talented. So yeah, would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I think that we are focusing on women and in media, so basically empowerment of women, and I think that over a period of this couple of decades that I have been around, I have seen people becoming stronger, women becoming stronger, women becoming more assertive, asserting their rights and their duties in various fields. They are coming up not only as we used to be in the sidelines. Even if there was a, I'm not talking about the previous generation when Nutan and Vaidha Rahman did such brilliant roles and the roles were written for them. But there was a phase in the middle that came where an actor, a female actor, was required for around 4 scenes and 2 dances, maybe 2 songs and 4 scenes, and you could actually count the scenes, and you would be grateful to have those scenes, and then came something called as an item number, and then I think the heroine disappeared, the lead actor disappeared, but of late they are coming back stronger. I think someone is writing good roles for women. They are writing women-centric projects, even the ones on the OTTs. Well drafted, well crafted, well thought of, and especially I think I in the morning I was talking about Hansal Mehta, so I'd like to talk about Scoop, where when he said, okay, without a star you can't do a project, but that was one that did brilliant business and I think had brilliant viewership and hardly any stars. And so we can go ahead and do such work. And women are standing up and they are saying, no, we will not do this kind of work, we will do this kind of work and do write better paths for us. At least I do say that, when I'm taking on roles now. If I get something which is not very healthy or it doesn't look very good to me, I politely decline and I say that I'm busy. Because nobody understands the fact that, I will not do this because I am not holier than thou, and then you understand the ego issues that are there, very fickle, and so it is better to say that you're busy and get out of it. And I say thank you very much, God bless you. Do keep me in mind if you have something stronger next time around. I would love to work with you. but right now I'm not available. So yes, I think we have moved a lot over the generations. It's like a cycle, you know. So we have come back to an era where we are doing the protagonist, we are doing the positive roles. We are not segregated into heroines and the vamps and the item number girls, and so everybody is doing everything, and they are doing it very proudly, and they are doing it as a craft, and they are doing it as a talent and a skill. So I think we are moving ahead.
That's fantastic. So I think that really calls for an applause for sure, because it's amazing. The journey's been amazing, and it's so important to have a strong voice. And if you're not going to speak about for yourself, then nobody's going to speak for yourself. So Jividha, you've had an interesting career yourself, from an artist to an entrepreneur. So during that journey, there is a certain period where everybody has been a part of. Would you like to highlight your journey in terms of were there gender bias, the challenges that basically came, because it's basically a labyrinth that one has to navigate. So would love to know more about that.
Yeah, very apt question for me. Gayathiri, thank you so much. So for me, life is always been, since my younger days, is all about evolving, staying curious, continuously finding my new ways to push boundaries. That's how I have been brought by my parents. I'm a Delhi-based Delhiite, born and brought up there, conservative Punjabi family. But I always wanted to shatter my, you need to do something for yourself, otherwise nobody will do that for you. This is what I have brought, by my father. So coming to the question, my transition from being in front of the camera to exploring new opportunities is definitely, it mirrors the path for many innovators, what I have seen in my life. So like in my own career, I've embraced challenges, opportunities, whether in acting, production, creating stories. For me, innovation isn't about creating something new. It's about constantly reinventing yourself while staying true to your own core. It's that. And I'm really proud to say that my journey represents what it means to be rising innovator. I'm really proud to say that, because it's adapting, it's exploring, it's rewriting my story every step of the way. Every project, every year, every project has given me some new kind of learning, whether it's understanding people, whether understanding gender bias, whether understanding pay parity in the industry. So every project in my whole journey has given me something new to learn. And I'm a learner. I will learn till I die. This is what I have believed in. So for me, the essence of innovation is growth, and that's what I've continued to strive for every day. This
It's
is how I
fantastic.
learned
Amazing.
it. Yeah.
We need more claps. Come on, guys. And we are sharing stories, and these are real stories. Fantastic, Jividha. Akanksha, coming to you. The youngest one. Yes. And already an achiever. Yeah, and on multiple. She's again multi-talented. I was having a conversation with her in the morning, and what is amazing is the kind of outlook and perspective and attitude towards life is so refreshing. Would love to know more about that in terms of from a youth perspective, because over the last 20 years things have just moved rapidly. So technically, you are in a generation where you were born with a mobile. You were born with, because this is the age of information. This is the age of data, right? So there is constant download of data, which is through peers, through internet, through whichever medium that we are kind of going through, right? What exactly is your perspective to the changing things that you have seen in your life? And how do you deal with this changing faces of current scenarios, and what do you feel in terms of where do women stand today? Are there still challenges? Are there still bias? How is it? How's the path been?
Sure. So I'll tackle the second part of the question first because I am a multidisciplinary artist. So I have experienced the gender bias on multiple levels in multiple fields. For example, being a stand-up comic, I had a headlining show with Bill Burr, who is a pretty famous stand-up comedian, and I was in the lineup with him. And he was actually sitting in the green room with a bunch of other men sharing a charcuterie board. And I came in and he said, "Honey, who are you here to support?" And I pointed at my name in the lineup and I said, "That's my name in the lineup. I'm here to support me." And I think being there to support you is kind of step one, because the environment is probably not going to be immediately welcoming or immediately open to your story. For me, it's been a lot about fighting for that space. Just because I had a sort of unique experience and existence, both as a woman and an immigrant. Like, I was doing all of this in Los Angeles. I'm originally born and raised here in Bombay, India. And so it was both about offering a different perspective as an international person, and also about carving space as a woman. And I think that the main, despite all the changes and despite all the things that have changed, what stays the same is that storytelling is powerful and that every person has something that they can add to the world. And I think that because of all of the shrinking attention spans and the way things are changing, there is a fear among creators and women storytellers about, well, how do I stand out and how do I keep up? And the only thing that I would say there is that there is universality in specificity. You can't go into creating something with the audience in mind. You have to go into it with, what story do I want to tell in mind? And this was something that I grappled and struggled with a lot, because in Hollywood, the main Indian narrative is the never have I ever's and the diasporic perspective. I didn't feel that the perspective of the young immigrant was represented at all. And when I brought my pilots around to Hollywood writers' rooms, they were like, "Well, she's a little unlikable, your character's a little unlikable, and your character's parents don't seem that strict, and you have to basically present both Indianness and womanhood in this one norm." And so I said, well, I am not going to keep knocking on a closed door in terms of selling my pilot. I am going to see what other doors exist. And so I kind of created my own web series where I talk about my experiences as a young immigrant. I started doing stand-up basically to just exist and own this identity, because most Indian stand-up comedians in the US have this one set that's like, my parents talk like this and they're super aggressive. And that was never my upbringing or my experience. And so I kind of wanted to bring this shine, I wanted to bring this identity and basically fight for the idea that my story was worthwhile, even if no one on a commercial level thought so. And through doing that, I now have a community of over 15,000 that deeply resonates with my stuff. And the main comment that comes from them is, I wanted to do something like this, but I thought nobody would care. And with shrinking attention spans, with the world changing, it's easy to think nobody will care, but you have to care. And you have to validate your own experience and go into it. You have to care.
Brilliant, brilliant. I love the universality and specificity. That's amazing. Going back to you, because I'm going to come back again over here slowly. I would like to know, there is a very common myth saying that, oh, technology and women don't go together. Electronics and women don't go together. Automobiles and women don't go together. They're like, oh, it's a woman driver. Oh God, it's going to be crazy. Because I get to hear that like many times, and I'm like, really? We are intuitive drivers. I tell them that said, like, what's that? Anyway. How are you dealing with that? Because this is something that you're born with, the technology and AI, and it's rapidly moving forward. How do you keep up that pace?
So for a small window in my life, I did still have books. And for the first, I want to say 10, 11 years, I did still have books. And so when it came to technology and getting to know social media and things like that, I was one of the early explorers of that, where it was this new thing. And I was a teenager at the time, and we were all on Facebook uploading photos. You wouldn't catch anyone in my generation on Facebook anymore. But, that was like our first exposure to it. And I think even from that very young age, there was a draw to this curation of an image or this curation of yourself and documenting of your life on these platforms. And over time, of course, it's evolved to more short form. Like, people are not going to watch anything longer than 30 seconds anymore. And I think I have just sort of been rolling with the punches, as all of us have, because now it's not enough to just be a stand-up comic and do well in the clubs. It's not enough to just be a storyteller and have your story win contests. You have to have a persona, you have to have a brand, you have to have an image around it socially. People have to be following you, people have to be liking and sharing your content. So I think all that technology has done for me and my path is it has encouraged me and challenged me to expand my presence and explore my presence. Because the way I started building my community around storytelling was one day in 2021 when I went through a really bad breakup with a B-list rock star, Los Angeles things. I set up my camera on a tripod and I said, get ready with a Desi woman who has just been dumped by a B-list rock star. And that video got, I think, something like 600,000 views.
Wow, that's amazing.
Just thousands of comments from Desi women basically being like, we have never had the freedom and the opportunity to just come online and vent about something like that. And so technology and the presence of apps like TikTok or things like Instagram Reels has opened up a whole world that previously might not have been accessible to our moms or to our masis or whoever, who kind of just had to go talk about it at the kitty party or talk about it with their sisters. So I think I'm immensely grateful to be positioned in a way where something can happen and I can just set up my tripod and be like, a B-list bass player just dumped me. Get ready with me.
Right. No, that's fantastic. That's really fantastic because this is the era of expression. This is the era, and there are so many. Technologies, of course, supporting us. I think me and Jividha actually embody the cusp of the change. Basically, we have seen from Doordarshan to change to OTT platforms, a single DD. And so many of us actually, the telephones to the mobile and everything. So we've actually seen, and Jividha, my question comes to you. How have you embraced the change in the sense like it is, of course, we both are going through the same thing sometimes. We get into a situation where, oh, should we put this or should we not put this? Or is it okay for us to put this or not? As opposed to the, in your generation right now, it's like, come on, take the, tripod and just say like, whatever you feel like, and it's fantastic actually, because you're just liberating out of it. And so we are actually in the cusp of the change. And sometimes when we are thinking, oh, should we or shouldn't we, or in that kind of thing, it's an expression in dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's still very scary. I think yes, our generation has the access, but we still don't feel like we have the permission, especially culturally speaking as Desi women. We have the access, but it still feels too scary to just go do that. I think the way I was able to just go do that is because I was a live performer. Through live performance and being able to share stories in that way and having a testing ground, that made it a little easier to just go set up the tripod and do whatever. but the intimidation and the fear of existing basically as a woman and being perceived and having all this judgment,
Yeah.
very much still
Exists,
there.
you mean? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, Jividha.
Uh, Rightly said, Gayatri. We have actually seen the transition from telephones to the mobiles to Doordarshan to now OTTs and what all is there right now to consume. Even the content-wise also we have seen, 90s and now what kind of content right now we are watching. So it's world cinema we are watching on all kind of platforms like Netflix and Amazon. So yes, it's pretty overwhelming for us because we are conditioned like that. What we have seen earlier in our families, from our parents or from my whatever groups and sisters, and so for us it was pretty. For me, especially, it was coming from Delhi to Mumbai. It was already an overwhelming thing for me because Delhi and Mumbai culturally are two different cities altogether. Then again, coming to the film industry is also that kind of a, experience for me because I have no background at all from the industry. I am from the business family, and for my parents, for my sisters, everybody were, why do you want to go to that line? That line is not good for girls. That time it was still there. Like today, it's not there. Today, still parents accept their children to go, their daughters and their sons to be an actor. But our time was still, it's not a good industry at all. You should not go there. It's you should be a doctor or engineer or whatever, but not an actor. But still, I pursued it because I wanted to do that. That's what I said in my earlier answer. Technology-wise, yes, it was overwhelming, but I was just like I said, I was a curious kid always. I always wanted to know what's happening around me and what should I do to get it. Because I'm a learner, so I started doing. I understood that technology is helping us. It's not, like I said yesterday also in one of the session, that it's not a threat at all, because I was not taking it as a threat. See, it's a perspective. Are you taking this as a threat कि नहीं ये इससे ऐसा करेंगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा? You're already in that kind of a negative mindset and then you are doing it.
Correct.
So I was a very positive mindset to taking technology as my friend or as my co-worker or as my tool. Yeah, to help me, to build me, or maybe to build my see, like even social media was not there our time, and I was creating my Insta profile.
Facebook.
My Facebook account for me was like, wow, I'm connecting with all kind of friends from all over world. Right now, I don't need a call, I don't need that trunk call or जो हम लोग करते थे पहले and all that. And it was amazing for me, and especially right now because I have two kids and they are grown-up kids, and they are like just like Akanksha's. They're born with the technology. They're born with the mobiles in their hands, and they know everything. And I am still learning from my children. Like my daughter tells me a few things. I always ask, Asha, how do you post this and how do you repost this? Acha, you don't know? Her reaction was always like, no, I don't know because I'm still learning. Maybe you need to tell me how do you do that. So I believe that it's your perspective. It's how you want to take this as a tool, as a help, as a friend, as a whatever, and then you show yourself or showcase or display what you want. And coming to that also, that we are still in dilemma in putting the post.
Absolutely.
अरे हम ये डाल देंगे तो रिश्तेदार क्या बोलेंगे, friends क्या बोलेंगे, how am I looking, what I'm wearing, why I am doing that, why I'm pouting and then pushing it. So she's not a good girl or whatever. So but yeah, I know. But like I said, it's liberating. It's liberating and it's giving you power of speech, power of your expression, and I'm really happy that we are seeing this transition, and we are there in the transition because इनके लिए तो they are born with this, but we have seen कि जो हमारे पास नहीं था पहले, अब जो हमारे पास ये पावर आई है उसके साथ हाउ स्ट्रॉन्ग वी फील, हाउ लिबरेटिंग इज, how we are getting into this world and positioning ourselves also. Like I started public speaking almost a year back. I never wanted to do that because I said no, maybe I should not do it. I'm an actor. How would people will say ki, "Arey, why is she doing that? Kyun kar rahi?" You know, it's perceptions all over around. And I was like, no, this is what I want to do before I die. Let me try this one.
Fantastic.
So that's why I tried. So I like technology. It's a good way of your own help. This is what I believe.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. I resonate a lot with that
Yeah.
as well because you are constantly in a certain in mindset and parameters.
Yeah.
And also, what I would also like to add is that my profession and my vertical of business is totally male bastion, which is distribution. So distribution of movies, distribution you're dealing with, it's completely male bastion. And usually, there are many times you get asked in terms of, oh, how do you deal with that, or how do you do that? The best thing is to always, the way we sharpen your skills.
Sharpen your
skills. Continue to learn.
When we talk about women empowerment, I think the basic step is self-confidence. I always tell artists, writers, or actors, or people who work behind the scenes, like makeup and set designers, cinematographers, who are women, that the most important thing is self-confidence. Second is the way you express yourself, the way you tell your own narrative, your story, how you put your foot down, which is very, very important, where you draw the line. This is a very fluid industry, and where yesterday I was saying somewhere that more than nepotism, it is favoritism. I think, I don't know who said it yesterday, I heard it somewhere. But the favoritism in my times was, I was told by many casting directors कि 19-20 का मामला है, तो 19-20 का, हाँ, मतलब कि आप कितने भी अवार्ड्स लेके आओ. I had gone to the industry with several acting awards at the state level, Maharashtra and Goa. तो बोले कि ये सब तो आप तिजोरी में रख देना, इसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है इस इंडस्ट्री में. यहाँ पर काम मिलना 19-20 का होता है. Either you are ready to do this kind of work, or you're not ready. I mean, we are still not talking about it openly. We talk about gender sensitivism, we talk about gender rights, we talk about Me Too movement. But very few people will come on the stage and say, I went through this, and I did this for this particular role, or I did not do this because this was beyond my morality, or beyond my ethics, or beyond my beliefs, and therefore I did not get to be a star. Because I have had it thrown in my face, like ना तू तो failure है, तू तो flop है, ना तो 2-4 serial में काम करके घर पे बैठी है, because you're worthless. I have been told this, and the truth was that I gave up acting to look after my 2 sons, one of whom had cerebral palsy. So, but that nobody goes to see. And also, I was doing a mental health, awareness campaign. Last month, October 10th was the World Mental Health Day, and time passes by so quickly. It is already a month, and I was asked about this gender roles in various professions. That what is the most crucial thing that we as women need to do? We have to set our goals. We have to set our boundaries. And we have to decide what our expectations in lives are. Because one of the most depressing things that happen to us when we do not meet our goals, and when we set our expectations way above our limitations, way above our ethical ecology system. We are all brought up and raised in a particular manner. As you keep saying that I was not brought up this way, or I was brought up this way, and you keep talking about Desi women, and this has been our background, and these are our values, and these are our cultural stance as women. How much do we speak? What do we speak? Where do we speak? To whom do we say things that we ought to say? We don't say anything. Even on this forum, we say, oh, you understand, you know what we are talking about, but we don't say that in terms of words. We don't say that I was abused or this was done to me and I had to walk out of that situation and probably give up on that project because I was not ready to, get sexually abused or, get involved in what the men like to call compromise. I don't know how it is a compromise. It's basically an abuse. And don't laugh. Yeah, men come up with these sweet little words called compromise. You have to adjust and you have to do these things and that things. And when I got my first role in a big serial, the guys who were asking me to compromise in a Tamil movie called me and asked me, how did you get on this television serial? Weren't you asked to do anything? So I said, not yet. The day they do, I'll walk out. And so, over the years, this is what I think the girls have decided. And if they are ready to, as you all use the word compromise, so be it. God bless them. I wish them all the success in the world, provided they are safe from various diseases and mental traumas and mental well-being and health issues that come with the compromise. They do. I have seen. I was a psychiatrist while I was acting, and I think I had more patients in the film industry than I had projects. So which I can't talk about because of confidentiality. And people were going through so much trauma. I can't even begin to tell you what it was. But they were putting up a very brave face because they said, नहीं उसने तो promise किया है कि मेरे को ये role मिलेगा अगर मैं ये करूँ ये करूँ ये करूँ ये करूँ तो मैं कर रही हूँ. The role कहीं दिख नहीं रहा है. So maybe she'll get it after 2 years. Or, and along the way. So yeah, women need to set goals. Whatever goals theirs are. I'm not going to be grandmother-ish and prude and say, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't. I'm not going to say that. To each his own. If that is how you want to make it big in life, that is how you are going to make it big in life. Because there is no equality. And I think we need to accept that. Till women like her come in the market and you all become all empowered and you all take with you other women and make them empowered and give them opportunities and bring them up on that particular strength and the level of success, there is going to be parity.